What's happening, everyone? Welcome to your training on how to steal back your body image and your confidence without ever dieting or having to restrict yourself again. Okay, we're going to jump straight into this. It's just me and you. Let's get this done. Okay, I have a 3-step method that I love to use with all my clients, all my ladies that get unbelievable results. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go into is why you battle. Okay, and I know this, you know this, that we seem to jump into things too quickly, okay? We seem to jump into things too quickly. Before you know it, you have a diet program, you have a training program, you're being super restrictive, you're being super good. And then before you know it, 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks go by, and you've kind of fallen off the wagon a bit because you've tried to change too much at once. We've gone from not eating well, not doing much exercise, all the way to the other side, kind of pretending like we're robots or athletes per se. You know, we're on strict diets, restrictive eating plans, crazy training programs, hours of cardio, and then we don't understand why we fall off the wagon. And it's purely because it takes a little while to form habits. It takes a while for us to get into these things. And the problem is that we don't give ourselves that opportunity anymore. We just jump straight into it with no structure at all, no guidance, no support. We just go from where we are now to this super rapid fat loss method, and we seem to get going for 2-3 weeks and then we fall off the wagon. And I want to make sure that I help you today, right now, get to a point where you never, ever, ever have to do that again. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go into is establishing where you currently are right now. Okay, so what we do there is we need to know how much food you are currently consuming. Okay, because obviously if you eat too much, you pick up weight. If you eat too little, you lose weight. Okay, that's how that works. But we need to see where you are now. What you would normally do is you would normally go and you wouldn't even see where you are now. You'll just go and follow a diet plan that someone may give you. Okay, but the problem with that is, again, we're doing too much at once. You're taking yourself completely out of where you currently are and where you're comfortable, and you're putting yourself in another place. And the problem is that method of just quickly changing is what keeps on getting you to stop, keeps on holding you back, keeps on getting you to a place where you feel like you're about to get somewhere, progress may stop, and then before you know it, you're back to your old habits, okay? So what we want to do is we want to firstly work out where exactly you are right now. Okay, we want to make it as comfortable and as easy for you as possible. Okay, and how we do that is we start to track our food. We track our nutrition. We track our food intake. Okay, so what you do is you download an app called MyFitnessPal. Okay, it's 100% free. Don't get the premium version. I've got the premium version. It's not worth the money. Okay, download MyFitnessPal, and what you're going to do is for the next between a week and a half, 2 weeks, you're going to track every single thing you eat, okay? That is it, okay? You're going to track every single thing you eat on the food app, whether you have some milk, some peanut butter, scrambled eggs, whatever you do, you're just going to track your food on that app, okay? And what you're going to notice is after a week and a half to 2 weeks, sometimes you might even lose a little bit of weight because you become more aware. But what that specifically does is it gets us a baseline, okay? We need to figure out where you are, not where I want you to be with here as a diet plan, where you are currently right now in your life, comfortable where you are, okay? We need to figure out where that baseline is, not the baseline of this new diet plan, where your baseline currently is right now, okay? So we need to figure that out. So that's what we get after a week and a half, 2 weeks. You'll see that every day you're kind of having the same amount of food. So it might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, but you'll kind of see a trend throughout a week and a half, 2 weeks. Okay, then what you'll notice as well is in that time, if you weigh yourself kind of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Monday and a Thursday, you'll start to see, is your weight going up? Is it staying the same? Or is your weight going down? Okay, now that is very good information for us because if it's staying the same, then we know that we're in maintenance, okay? If it's going up, we're in a surplus, we're picking up weight, and if it's going down, then we're in a calorie deficit, which means we're burning more calories than we're consuming, and we're losing body fat, okay, which is a win. Now, what you want to do for step 2 is once you have that base, okay, so now you know that you haven't changed much, you haven't done a strict diet, you haven't restricted yourself, you haven't pulled out all the good things in life like wine, chocolate, all the things that you love, okay, you haven't done that. You now have a baseline. So you're like, okay, I've eaten X amount for the next 2 weeks, or for the last 2 weeks, should I say, and I've either lost weight, stayed the same, or picked up a bit of weight, okay? Then step 2 is you deciding, do you want to pick up a little bit of lean muscle? Do you want to stay exactly where you are, or do you want to lose body fat? The majority of my ladies want to lose some body fat, okay? So what they do is all they do, okay, forget about protein, fat, carbohydrates. You'll work out your average for the calories, right? So you'll find you'll probably be eating maybe between 1,600 and 2,000 calories a day, probably around there, okay? That's probably the number that you're going to settle at, okay? Now, what you're going to do is, now that you have that general number, all you're going to do is, if you'd like to lose a bit of body fat, which I think a lot of you do, you're just going to drop that number by about 250 to 300 calories. So if you were having 1.8, drop it down to about 1.6, okay? That's it. That is all you do, okay? And then all that's going to happen is you're going to notice that you're going to start losing some body fat every single day, okay? You're going to try and aim for that calorie number. Now, I get asked questions like this all the time. What about protein? What about carbs? What about fat? Forget about that for now, okay? Forget about that for now. I want to make sure we get you a quick win in the next 2-3 weeks, okay? Quick win. You could even start losing body fat from the day you start tracking your nutrition because you become more aware, okay? So that's step 2. Work out what your average is. If you'd like to lose a bit of body fat and you're not currently dropping weight, drop 250 to 300 calories from that number and just start tracking your food and start trying to hit that number, okay? Your third thing and the final thing, which might blow your mind, is that I don't want you to worry so much about exercise. I want you to worry more about moving more, okay? Now, you've heard this before, eat less, move more, and you've heard it a lot for a very good reason. Yes, it's not that simple. However, what I'd like to explain to you is your exercise portion of your day only burns between 10 and 15% of the calories you need to burn for the whole day to lose some body fat, okay? Now think about that, okay? We put so much pressure on exercise, so much pressure on ourselves, we stress out about it, we freak out, we try different programs. It is only 10 to 15% of your whole day, okay? It's not even half. Like borderline on being a quarter even, okay? So what I'd like you to focus on is, if you want to exercise, great, exercise 3 to 4 times a week, nice and hard, fantastic. If you aren't there yet, which I think a lot of you might not be there yet, you might not be in a place where you feel like you can comfortably exercise 4 times a week hard, okay? What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to increase your steps, okay? Get between 8 and 10,000 steps per day. Now, what this is going to do for you is there's something called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, okay? I'm not getting all sciencey here. I just need you to know this term, okay? Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's called NEAT, okay? Now, what NEAT is all the calories that you burn throughout the day when you're not exercising, okay? That, my friends, makes up 70 to 80% of the calories we burn on a daily basis, okay? So the majority of my clients that I work with, the majority of the ladies that I help, the single thing that helps them move forward and helps them drop the most amount of weight, okay, is obviously tracking their nutrition like we spoke about in step 1, okay? Making sure that they're in a calorie deficit, so they've removed a little bit from that main number, which was step 2, okay? And the third thing is making sure they move more. Exercise is a bonus, okay? If you move a little bit more every single day, you will burn 70 to 80% more of the calories that you consume on a daily basis, okay? 70 to 80%. Think about that, just from moving a little bit more. When you have a meeting on the phone, walk around the garden, walk up and down the road, okay? Just get a little more movement in every single day. Aim for 8 to 10,000 steps per day, okay? Try and get that per day. It's going to help you move forwards. I wish I could actually show you how amazing some of those results have been. And I will show you some of the results that we have received from ladies who have only done these 3 steps. That is it. Forget about protein, fat, carbohydrate, keto, low carb, high carb. Forget about all of that. Follow these 3 steps just like I've laid out in this training, and I have 100% no doubt in my mind that you will start losing body fat and feeling amazing and getting that confidence back, getting your body image back in the next couple of days. Ciao.